Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gemma and I create weekly art content, so make sure you subscribe so you never miss one of my uploads. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I created a really budget-friendly art studio in my garage. Let me know in the comments what you think of the finished studio space. Let's get started on it. We have got this Sandtex masonry paint to go on the walls in the garage, and we're just going to get set up and ready to go. Okay, so we have finished our watered down coat on the garage wall. We've almost finished that. James is just cutting in along the floor and then he's going to roller the last bit just over there. And then we will do the top coat in a little while, maybe even tomorrow because we might not get around to that today. But we will be building my furniture in just a moment for my studio space. So I'm now going to start building the furniture. It'll be really easy. I bought the furniture from IKEA and they're just trestle legs and a tabletop, so it's going to be super easy. I will show you what I bought. So these are the trestle legs and I'm going to start by building those first, and then I'll get the tabletop on once I've done that. Both legs have been made up. This is the tabletop that just sits on top, and I just need to decide whether I want the legs that way around or with this part of the trestle pointing inwards. But obviously we still need to paint in here, so I'm not going to do that right now. But it's looking good. Thanks for your help, James. Trestles are all done. Now we're going to move on to building the bookcase. Just place them in to see how it will look, and I think they fit really well. So I've still got quite a bit of space between our storage and then where my studio stuff is all going to go. So I'll fill all of these with all of my art materials. I'll be able to set up for filming here. I'd like to get a pegboard for on the wall there. It's the next day and I've got my work clothes on again, and I'm going to go and do some more work in the garage on the studio space. So I need to paint the wall and then get all of my art materials and sketchbooks and things like that out. So I'm going to take you along for the rest of today. finished painting those walls along there, so we've added a top coat and then placed the furniture in place. I'm really pleased with how it's looking. Now I need to fill the bookcase. All of this stuff here needs sorting out and organising, and then I've got more boxes down this end of the garage that I've got art materials in, so that's my next job. So I have some sketchbooks out on the shelves. I went through a stage of covering all of my sketchbooks. These ones are all covered in fabric, and they're just Sea White of Brighton A5 sketchbooks, which I used to really like working in an A5 sketchbook. That was my preference of size when I was at art school, because I thought it was nice, easy and portable just to jot down ideas and do little sketches. This is my progress so far. I've got all of this to sort out. So those have actually got holes in, so once I get the pegboard sorted on here, they can be hung up, and I think they will look really nice in that area of the studio. Okay, so I have finished for today because I've kind of run out of storage space really. We are now back. It's the third day of sorting out my studio, and I'm going to be taking some things from this space that I have currently been working in. This is just our office within the house, so I just have been working here, but it's a little bit tight, and also I really don't want to get things messy. Like, I've already got things on this desk that doesn't look great, so I managed to get bits and bobs on here from when I was filming my last video, which was the video on colouring pencils. So I'll put a link in the description for that one if you haven't watched that one already, so go and check that one out. But I'm going to be taking some things from this room downstairs and then out to the garage and trying to get that organised, and then I'm actually going to set up and try filming my first video outside. Even though it's not completely finished in there, I would just like to try it out and see what it's like as a filming area. And maybe I'll even show you a little bit of the sort of behind the scenes of how I set up and how I'm actually filming at the moment. Okay, so this is how I currently set up to film. I then shoot from above, so I place my paper down in this area. So I'll then have all of my materials ready on the table here, and I will draw from here. So this is going to be the little setup that I work with today. Update on the pegboard. I actually decided to buy some MDF board to make my own pegboard because I couldn't quite find exactly what I was looking for. I wasn't sure whether I wanted a sort of a wooden colour pegboard, if I wanted a white, or if I wanted to paint it a colour. So I thought the best way to go would be to buy a board and then just make it myself. This is the pegboard, or the board that I bought, which I am going to make into a pegboard. So I'm just going to mark out where I want all of my holes to be drilled and eventually decide whether I want to paint it and leave it as is. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this. Okay, so the very first step is to mark out the spacings between where I want my pegs. So I've got my tape measure and pencil. I'm going to do that first before I do any drilling, just to make sure all of the areas are going to be completely perfect. Okay, so next up I'm actually going to join up those markers that are drawn along each of the edges, and I'm going to use this just because it's nice and long. I'll be able to draw them straight across from there then, and it'll be nice and easy. That's the next step. This is what I have just completed. Every marker where these two lines cross is where I will be drilling a hole for my pegboard. It's really important to get this part of the pegboard correct before moving on to actually drilling. So I've measured out all of the markers for where the pegboard holes are going to go, and we're just going to attach this to this wall. Just figuring out how far up I want it from the desk. I'm a little bit undecided at the moment. James just cut 2 pieces of wood to go onto the wall, so we're going to attach those to the wall, and they will be used as the anchoring points to then attach this to it. So yeah, we're going to figure out how far up we want this, and then we're going to get this attached to the wall, and then I'm going to start drilling all of the holes into this. Pegboard is now attached to the wall, and I've got to go along now and just drill in all of the holes. So I'm going to pilot the holes first and then go in with a 6mm drill bit to get a good finish on here, and we'll see how it looks. I have drilled in the pilot holes here. You can see really tiny little holes. The next task is to drill in my holes with the final size. I've got a 6mm drill bit on the drill. So I'm going to work along and get all of those drilled in, and this will be the final size of the holes for my pegboard. I have drilled all of those 6mm holes into my pegboard, and as you can see they've raised ever so slightly along where I have drilled. So I'm going to rub those down with some sandpaper, and then once I have done that, get rid of all of these pencil lines, and then I will paint it. I'm going to paint it white. I decided to paint it white because I thought it would look really good in here against the white furniture and also the white wall, and it will make the accessories stand out really nicely on the pegboard. I'm actually sugar soaping to get off these marks. So if you look closely, you can see where there are these lines. Just just about to start painting the boards. Okay, so the paint that I have is this one here, which is a furniture paint from B&Q. It's a velvety smooth finish and it's just in white. So this is paint that I already had at home. It has been a few days since I painted the first coat of paint onto my pegboard, and I have actually already painted the second coat on. As you can see, it's a lot less patchy than it was with that one coat. So I'm going to leave it like this for now, and I'm going to start dressing it. So I have a little shelf to go on here, and I've got a few other bits and bobs that I want to attach to this. First up is this shelf that I bought. I want to attach this onto the pegboard. I'm thinking around that point. First shelf is up on the pegboard. I think it looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. So for the pegboard, I have gone for gold accessories. At the moment, I haven't actually got all of the fixings for the pegboard itself, which hopefully will arrive soon from Amazon. But for now, I'm going to just see how wooden dowels will look in this, because I really like the wood effect against this white. Okay, my wooden dowels are a bit of a fail. They are too big to go into the pegboard holes. What I'm now going to work on is getting this macrame plant hanger. So I'm going to attach a chain and a hook to one of the rafters in the garage, and then I'll get this hung up by the side of my desk. Successful hanging. These are some of the items that I have got to style my studio with, just to make it look a little bit nicer. I think I'm going to fill this one with small tubes of acrylic paint. This one I would like to have hanging on my pegboard for art materials that I use quite often. I'm also going to hang this palette and these two rulers. So I've gone for a little G on a marble stand. I thought that would be nice for my channel, for Gemma Morgan Art. And then I think I will just find a little cutting for this, so I can get a little bit of green foliage in this area. I also need to get another plant for this part, which I might place on my bookcase. And then this little tea light holder, I will find a space for this as well. So far on this shelf I've got the acrylic paints and some paintbrushes, and then this little tea light holder. This shelf needs organising, so I would like to put this up. I just don't know where yet. There's a hook with a cow head on it. It's now time for the big reveal of the studio space. So I'm going to open up and I'm going to show you how it all looks. Studio space and the big reveal. so good. I'm so pleased with it. So once I get those hooks, I will do an updated tour of the studio space so you can see how it's all coming along together. Yeah, I'll just show you around once it's all finished. So if you would like to see how my studio space progresses, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that video. Hopefully it won't be too long until that one comes up. I think it looks really pretty. I think it would be a really good space to work in. We've got a nice clear area there as well, which will be really good for working on bigger pieces in that area. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really nice, really cozy studio space to work in.